It's getting crunch time, NASCAR fans. Welcome back into another episode here of Winning Bets. We're doing our weekly NASCAR show. I'm your host, Jason Mattis, joined each and every single week by William Blackwell. How's it going, man?
It's going good, man. I am looking forward to talk about this Sunday's race at Darlington. It is the playoff opener. 16 teams are remaining, and at the end of 10 weeks, we will see a champion crowned. So there's a lot to talk about here, but I am looking forward to it.
There is a lot to talk about it, so let's jump on into it. Remind everybody what we do around here. We give you a chance. We give you our picks for a chance to win $25,000 on the Jackpot Races app, $10,000 on the NBC Sports Predictor app, another $1,000 on the Fox Bet Super Six app. We always start by recapping the previous race, so let's do that. The Coke Zero 400 down there at the Daytona Speedway. There, obviously Ryan Blaney went ahead and took the checkered flag. I've got some mixed thoughts on this race. Let's hear your opening thoughts on the Coke Zero 400.
All right, at first, it was a new package, and the teams did a really good job of trying to keep it clean, which they did for the first stage and pretty much the whole second stage. But when stage three started, that's when all hell broke loose. We saw all the Rick Ware racing cars wrecked together, and it bunched up the field because during that wreck, or before that wreck happened, all the Fords went down pit road. Chase Briscoe and Brad Keselowski did not get a good exit, and they were trapped one lap down while the Chevys and Toyotas stayed out. And when that caution came out, Keselowski got the lucky dog and Briscoe got the free pass. So all the Fords are on the lead lap again. And when that restart happened, we saw wreck after wreck, and Tyler Reddick was involved in that wreck, and he entered the race 25 points to the good. But when that wreck happened, it wasn't looking too promising because he had smoke coming out his rear end, and he went down pit road, and they red flagged the race. And when that red flag happened, the three car of Austin Dillon told his team that he's having a voltage issue. And a voltage issue is a battery issue, in which they're going to have to change the battery. It doesn't take too long at Daytona because it is a 45-second to 50-second lap, so they can change it fairly quick, especially under caution. They changed it, but he was not going near race pace, and so he was hoping for Tyler Reddick to get knocked out the race, which Reddick did not. His team did one hell of a job getting him fixed, and man, that's the team of the year so far. Last year was Elliott at Martinsville, if I'm not mistaken, where the pit crew guy went over the wall and went back over the wall and service stopped. So there's so much interesting things going on.
Yeah, I thought you kind of hit the nail on the head there for a little bit for me. Right on the top of yours when you mentioned the changes that NASCAR implemented here going into this race. You obviously didn't see the linking up and the cars really just flying, from front to back and what have you, both ways. You didn't see a whole lot of lead changes like that. So to me, it seemed like it was a lot of a snooze fest. Obviously, it was just tons of blocking. The lead car bouncing between the high line and the bottom line, doing some blocking. It always feels like to me, and I got this feeling again Saturday night watching that race. It feels like everything leading up to call it the last 20 laps just doesn't matter because at the end the guys are going to be pushing so hard to get the checker flag and they're going to get some big wrecks. It just feels like the whole race is fake up until the end, and that's kind of what I felt. Watching stage one, stage two, you were just like building to the end and building to the wrecks. You didn't see a whole lot of wrecks at the end of stage one and stage two like you saw at Talladega. Remember Joey Logano wrecked, I believe it was at the end of either stage one or stage two. You didn't get that this time. It was keeping it clean, to your point, blocking and just building up there towards the end. I did think that NBC got lucky with and got some drama, and you touched on it. You had the Tyler Reddick with the oil issue, and then you had Austin Dillon, obviously there with the battery issue. I mean, those were the two guys primarily, at least on points, fighting for that last spot. So NBC got some really, really good drama with those two cars and those pit crews really having a battle right there. So I was intrigued by that. It was awesome to see Austin Dillon change that battery in 30 seconds. That was really cool right there. But yeah, just I don't know. Super speedways just don't do it for me because it just feels like the whole race is fake. Where when we go to Darlington this week, you're building up and guys are improving their cars and making them fast and making adjustments. I just don't get that same feel at a speedway. Just like I said, it just feels real fake to me. So, good job, Ryan Blaney. Chris Buescher was kind of. I already watched Radioactive this week. Seemed like he was kind of being a kind of a butt out there to a lot of cars, but overall, I'm just glad it wasn't a newbie at the end of the day. I'm glad it was a newbie, and Tyler Reddick, who has had a good season leading up to this point, deservedly in my mind, got that last playoff spot. Were you happy with Tyler Reddick getting it, or what were your thoughts on that?
in all seriousness, the 3 should have got in last week at Michigan. Things went
Yeah.
south there, but Reddick ultimately got the final spot, and he's in. And I guess you can say, he's going for a championship at the end of the day. And Austin Dillon is not, so I guess he kind of earns it.
Okay. All right. Anything else on Daytona, or you want to look at Darlington here?
I'm ready to talk about Darlington.
Yeah, this is where it matters here, folks. This is the first playoff race. This is where what they call it nut crunching time. This is it, folks. This is where the intensity really rackets up, and it all starts at the Cookout Southern 500 Darlington. We know this is the 1.3-mile track. We talked about this back in May, how this is really just a unique track. There's not a really whole lot of comps on the NASCAR Cup Series. I wouldn't call it a whole lot of comps. This is just unique right there. Tire wear, like we talked about in May, let me remind you guys, tire wear is crucial here at Darlington right now. But again, the playoffs start. You got to earn your stripes. You talk about earn your stripes like if you're a New York Yankees baseball player, you got to earn your stripes. You don't want to earn your stripes at Darlington. You earn your stripes. That means you're running on that high line. You're just hitting the wall. So don't want to earn your stripes, even though they obviously call it earn your stripes. Let me get a couple of your thoughts on here, and then I've got a couple more as well.
Well, Darlington this week is going to be the playoff opener, like you said, but it's also a really long race. It is 500 miles. This is like time-wise. It's going to be just as long or damn near close as the Coca-Cola 600 is. It's just crazy, and you're going to see a lot of drivers exhausted and stuff like that. And but man, that's going to also be something to keep an eye on.
Okay, let's remind everybody back about that race back in May. Obviously, Martin Truex Jr. won. Not only did he win, he dominated that race. He won all 3 stages. I remember as soon as the race was over, they obviously then give you the card. He told his crew chief, like, we dominated, guys. We just kicked their ass. That's exactly what Martin Truex Jr. did that day. Led 248 laps, all but 45 laps. It was just really impressive. Joe Gibbs Racing was impressive that day. They had 3 cars finish in the top 5. Remind you guys, they will be using that 750 package just like they did back in May. Other tracks that use the 750 package, if you want to do any comps, you had Dover this year, Nashville, New Hampshire are some other ones right there. But the 750 package obviously will be in play again right here. So I'm looking forward to it. First playoff race. There's a lot on the line right here. Obviously, it's kind of reset in terms of the points. Guys are on a little increment system there in terms of the points. So there is some separation, obviously, going into this race. But it's a clean slate. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait for it. Anything else for you?
No, but here's some interesting stats I came up with, though. From the spring, all the 16 drivers, here's their results. I'm going to do it in numerical order. Kurt Busch in the spring had an accident, finished 35th. Brad Keselowski in the 2 car finished 24th. Kevin Harvick in the 4 car finished 6th. Kyle Larson finished runner-up, and he was so close at the end, chasing down Truex. Tyler Reddick, P12. Chase Elliott, P7. Eric Almirola finished dead last after he hit the inside retaining wall on the backstretch. Denny Hamlin finished P5, and I'd expect him to be up front this weekend. Ryan Blaney, P8, is one of the hottest drivers right now in NASCAR. I think I forgot which race it was. I think it was Road America. Since then, his average finish is 6.6, if I'm not mistaken. And that's really good, and he's coming to a track he's had success at in the past. Kyle Busch finished 3rd. Martin Truex Jr. obviously won the race. Christopher Bell, 14th. Logano, 13th. William Byron, 4th. And I expect him to be at Dark Horse. And then Michael McDowell, obviously, is not in the best equipment, and he finished 27th. And Alex Bowman finished 17th. So that's the results of all 16 drivers in the spring. So it might make it a little easier to pick a driver in these rounds.
Yeah, I think so. You mentioned Kyle Larson, how he was really pushing there towards the end. I remember, I don't know what lap it was, but it was a few to go. Remember he split 2 cars just to keep pace and keep driving? I don't remember the 2 cars, but he went right between them.
It was Newman and I think it was Reddick in the 8 car. That's who it was.
Yeah, he went right in between them. He was hunting down Martin Truex Jr. That was really fun to see. Before we move on to give our picks for this $25,000, obviously everybody knows I live in Chicago now, but I used to live in southern states. You ever been to a cookout? What do you think about a cookout? You like it? I know you're from the Georgia area. Have you been to a cookout?
Yeah, we have cookout, but I would say it's kind of overrated.
It's way overrated. It's like everything is cooked in the same grease. They don't ever change the grease. It's folks, don't go to a cookout. It may be
It's way overrated.
yeah, it's way they may be sponsoring this race, but ugh, you don't want to go to a cookout. Way overrated. All right, cool. Glad you agree with me. We at least agree on one thing. We don't know what our picks are going to be, but we at least agree you can take a pass on cookout. All right, with that being said, let's jump on into it. Let's start with that Jackpot Races app where you can win $25,000. They give you 5 groups of drivers. Pick the driver to finish best amongst the group and then round out a top 3 for them. You go ahead and go first here in Group 1. You got to pick between Larson, Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Elliott, Truex, and Harvick. Who's going to be it for you in Group 1?
This is a really tough round. You got Kevin Harvick as one here in 2020. I think he swept last year. And then this year finished really well in the spring. Truex won the spring race. Kyle Larson was fast. Tough decision. You can't go wrong with either of them. But I'm going to go with your spring winner, Martin Truex Jr. I think he's going to show out this weekend. And it's the playoffs. Everything is reset. So him and Kyle Larson are on an equal playing field. So I think that'll give him some motivation. And Truex is my pick for round 1.
You mentioned Kevin Harvick right there. I'm done picking Kevin Harvick. I've picked him a few times this season. He's been a big disappointment. You probably heard, I don't know what day it was last week. You probably heard that Tony Stewart interview where he was interviewed by somebody. He was basically talking about, yeah, we've got something going on here at Stewart-Haas Racing. We can't figure it out. We don't have speed. We can't really. He was basically admitting that they're not going to compete. Is basically what he was saying. It's waving that white flag. So Harvick's always got the numbers when we've done the research, but he doesn't have it. I think if I recall correctly, they actually raced here 3 times last season. Harvick won 2 and Hamlin won the other because they raced once on it's like a Sunday and a Wednesday or something, and then obviously they got their typical Labor Day race.
Yeah, you're right. Harvick won the back to NASCAR race because they were out for a while, and Hamlin won that Wednesday night. Harvick won the Southern 500 over Austin Dillon. Yeah,
That's right. But you're right in terms of also Truex Jr. I had a hard time picking between Truex Jr. and Kyle Larson. In the end, I went with Kyle Larson. His last 3 at Darlington, second, third. 6 of his last 7 races at Darlington have all been the top 10. He's got the best driver rating here since 2018 by 12 points. It's playoff time. The cream of the crop rises to the top. He's been the best all season long. I expect him to be fast. We talked about how in May he was charging Truex. He was hunting him down. I think Kyle Larson will get it done. So it'll be Kyle Larson in Group 1 for me. In Group 2, I'll pick between Byron, Logano, Keselowski, Blaney, Bowman, and Kurt Busch. I'm going to go and give it to William Byron. He was 4th at Darlington, 4th at Dover, if you want to maybe use that as a comp just because of the 750 package. But he was 5th last year at Darlington on the Labor Day weekend, which, again, was another playoff race. So added between him and Bowman, and I just like his consistency all season long. Bowman seems to maybe kind of come out of nowhere and get a win, where Byron has just been consistently running up towards the top in a lot of races. So it was William Byron for me. What about for you?
I'm going to agree with you with William Byron. William Byron, as of lately, has been doing really well, besides last week at Daytona, which he was involved in the big one. But the week before, though, a lot of people forget he was just a couple feet away from winning the Michigan race. And I'm pretty sure that kind of pissed him off and that team also. They're coming to a track, 750 horsepower. They dominated this year at Dover, same package. So I expect the Hendrick cars to be fast, but especially William Byron.
Yeah, cool. Okay, good. Obviously, good pick. All right, Group 3, you got to pick between Reddick, Dillon, Bell, Dibendetto, Almirola, and McDowell. Who's it going to be for you?
Last week, I was looking at this, and because last week they had the same drivers in the same rounds, typically. They might change it up every once in a while. But the RCR cars, whichever one made the playoffs, was going to be the one I go with, because RCR at Darlington in the fall, it's usually pretty quick. Austin Dillon last year finished runner-up to Kevin Harvick, and he was chasing him down with maybe 1 or 2 more laps left. Dillon only got the checker flag. So I think they're going to be bringing the same equipment this year, but with Tyler Reddick, and I expect him to be really fast and pushing the limit, but that might result in getting his stripes at Darlington.
All right, so you went Tyler Reddick? That's where you went? All right, well, yeah, certainly in agreement with me here. I also went Tyler Reddick. He was 12th back in May. In both of the stages, he was in a top 10. I look at this group. There's some drivers here that aren't a playoff driver. Obviously, Dibendetto's not. I'm going to be picking a playoff driver almost every group going forward, given that option right there. Tyler Reddick also loves riding the high line. You see that when he goes to tracks. He loves the high line. You got to run the high line here at Darlington. And also the thing I like, and you were kind of touching on it right there, we've seen it in years past, if there's multiple drivers on a team and only one of those drivers is in the playoff, he then will get all the best resources for that team. You'll even see them pluck like the gas man or the tire changer off another team, and all of a sudden that guy will now work for it. So whatever Austin Dillon, if he has anything better than Tyler Reddick, that'll then funnel over to him, leading up all the preparation, all the resources RCR has. You were kind of hitting on it, and I agree completely. Tyler Reddick will get those resources. Add that with his driving pedigree here at Darlington. Yeah, I'm with you. Tyler Reddick all day for me here in Group 3. For Group 4, we got to pick between Buescher, Stenhouse, Chastain, Suarez, Wallace, and Priest. Tough pickings for me. I went with Buescher. Yeah, just tough for me. He's got the best numbers in this group at this track. He also would have won this group back in May, but I thought it was relatively tough, but I did go with Buescher. What about for you?
Yeah, I agree with you. Chris Buescher, he had a top 10 in May, so it's hard to bet against him.
Okay. All right. Round it out here for us. Give us Group 5 between Jones, Briscoe, Custer, Newman, LaJoie, and Alfredo.
All right, here. 2 drivers finished inside the top 15 that I remember. Chase Briscoe, P11, and the kidney stone, Ryan Newman, finished P10. But I think Chase Briscoe be the safe bet. He won here in the past in the Xfinity Series, and I expect him to keep it clean, so Briscoe.
Okay. I went ahead and took the Rocket Man, Ryan Newman. He won this group back in May. Again, albeit over one spot over your guy, Chase Briscoe, but he did win this group back in May. Also, this is a relatively tough track, and I just kind of take the veteran here, a guy that's been on the circuit for many years. They call it too tough to tame for a reason. You got to earn your stripes. They call all these, nicknames here for a reason. Darlington's a really tough track, and I just want to lean on the veteran here at this track. He's got an average finish of 16 at Darlington since 2018. His last 4 races here, 15th was his worst finish. I think if he can reproduce that, he'll probably be the winner of this group. So give me the veteran on a really tough track. So Ryan Newman for me. All right, we got to give him the meat of the show here. You got to give them a top 3. Who's taking that checker flag and who's going to be right behind him in P2 and P3 for you, William?
Well, a lot of people, when I referred Ryan Newman as the kidney stone, a lot of people might wonder what I mean by that. He is really, really hard to pass. Like a kidney stone is hard to pass. So I just came up with that off my head.
I love it.
But my top 3 is going to be Martin Truex Jr. getting the checker flag and advancing to the round of 12. Kyle Larson finishing runner-up to him. And here's a shocker. William Byron P3.
Not too much of a shocker. I like that right there. I'm going to flip your 1 and 2, though. I'm going Kyle Larson bringing home that checkered flag. Martin Truex Jr. will be right behind him in P2. And I'm going to go Kyle Busch in P3. I know that's the same 3 that finished back in May, but this is playoff time. Like I said, the best rises to the top. And these 3 guys have been generally the best throughout most of the season. So I like them finishing 1, 2, 3 in that order here at Darlington. I cannot wait to see how it unfolds. It's Sunday night, right? It's a night race, if I recall correctly. Sunday night under the lights at Darlington. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, you're going to see some tempers rising up, too. I want to see if you get some incidents on pit road. We have yet to see that this year besides the Briscoe and Hamlin, but I always look forward to seeing something like that after the race.
Yeah, I guess Briscoe and Hamlin would have been either the best opportunity or maybe the closest. And, Hamlin, he was cool. I mean, he kept his cool. He kept his cool with her being spun out there by Briscoe.
It ain't going to be like that much longer because you got Martinsville, you got Texas. We've seen fights there in the past, and that's going to be something to keep an eye on. And obviously, that's going to draw a lot of attention to NASCAR. And NASCAR is kind of looking for attention because that's more advertisement. But still, I expect things to go crazy Sunday night at Darlington.
Yeah, and overall, this is going to be a good round. You got Darlington, Richmond, and Bristol in this round. Bristol not on dirt, actually on pavement this time. So I think this is a good 3-track. I think this is big because then the next round, when you get the Oval and then Talladega, we've talked about how these super speedways are complete unknown. Once you go to the Roval at Charlotte, I mean, everybody's kind of going to lean Chase Elliott more than likely on that one. So you gotta have a good round 1 performance because round 2 with, like I said, the Roval and the super speedway, boy, round 2 is tough.
That Roval race is going to be a shit show with the package they're running and Talladega.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's going to be a wreck.
Yeah, and that one's gonna be a wreck because now they put, obviously they did it last year, but they put that in the playoffs. The guys gonna be pushing that. That's gonna be a wreck fest. Absolutely gonna be a wreck fest right there. All right, cool. Saturday or Sunday night under the lights, the Cookout Southern 500 should be exciting. Like I said, it's the first playoff race. Can't wait to see how it unfolds as we march our way here through the playoffs. 10 races to crown a champion for the 2021 NASCAR season. Or I guess the playoff champion. We already got the regular season champion was Kyle Larson. Nice trophy, by the way. I've got a really nice trophy there for winning that sucker.
Yeah, but before we get off here, I want to ask, like, we can make our championship prediction right now. Who you got winning?
Well, knowing the last race is Phoenix, knowing how good Truex is there, like, I mean, him, True, it'll be between him, Larson, or probably Hamlin, or those three. Truex loves Phoenix. Yeah, either Truex or Larson, probably. I mean, just knowing that Phoenix is the last race. What about you?
I'm agreeing with you 100%. I had three of them drivers you listed in the final four alongside Chase Elliott, but Truex winning it all.
You do have Truex winning it all. Wow, yeah, that's yeah, yeah. I can't argue with that. I mean, just knowing that that's the last race. Cool. All right. Well, speaking of which, plug your awesome content. You've got you broke down all 10 of these races and you went round by round and tell the people what you got. That's a phenomenal video and as how you
On my
broke down
YouTube,
which drivers are getting eliminated.
yeah, on my YouTube channel, I posted earlier this week a video that was containing my predictions for the 2021 NASCAR playoffs. I started off by talking about the round of 16. You had Darlington, Bristol, and Richmond, and then you had in the next round you had Vegas, Talladega, and the Roval, and then you had Kansas, Texas, and Martinsville and Phoenix. But each round, four drivers got eliminated, and there are some pretty easy picks here for the early rounds, but the later it goes on, the harder it gets. But I had a champion crown that kind of spoiled it right there for my final four, and Truex winning it all. But still, it's an awesome video, and a lot of people should check it out.
Yeah, it definitely is an awesome video. And also, he's a great follow on Twitter, W Blackwell72. W Blackwell72. All his information, YouTube, Twitter information, it's all in this video description. All right, let's go enjoy this race. Hang back. I'll give you your picks for $10,000 on NBC and $1,000 on Fox Bet. We'll let William drop. Enjoy that race Saturday night or Sunday night. I already can't wait to get back in here next week and talk about it. I know because now it's playoff time, we're going to get some wild, good, fun drama. I already can't wait to get back in here and talk to you about it, man. Enjoy that race on Sunday.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, there you guys have it. Those are our picks for a chance to win $25,000 on the Jackpot Races app. Now let's move it over to the NBC Sports Predictor app where we can win $10,000. They give you 3 stages, drivers in each of those stages. Pick the driver that'll finish best in each of those stages, and then give them a top 3. If nobody can do it, they'll still get a guaranteed $1,000 prize to the group of people that can get the most points. And also, guys, if you remember it, I'm also putting $25 up on the line each and every single week. I've created a league that we can all compete against. Whoever gets the most points in that league will take home $25. If you want that league information, just grab it from this video description. That's simple, easy. Join the league, compete against your fellow winning bet supporters. Who won it last week? Well, it looks like we had 804 Smoke coming in with 30 points. And shout out to 804. That's the Richmond, Virginia area code back where I'm from, my hometown, 804. So shout out to him and 804 Smoke. Overall, though, he only had 30 points. I don't mean to say he only had 30 points. I think that just shows really the unpredictability of these super speedways at Daytona and Talladega. It's just really, really unknown and anything can happen. But he did well enough to take home that 30 points. So congratulations. That is always really good work. So hit me up on Twitter. Drop me that PayPal information and I'll go ahead and send you $25. All right, let's now move it over here. See who we got. For stage 1, I'll go ahead and pick William Byron. I obviously told you guys right there why I like him. He's going to be strong this weekend. For stage 2, I'll go ahead and pick Denny Hamlin. He's going to be strong just like he was back in May. He finished 5th. He was top 5 in both of those stages. Overall here at Darlington, he's had 1 win and 3 top 5s since 2018. And Joe Gibbs Racing overall was just really strong, as I mentioned previously, having 3 cars in that top 5 back in May. Yeah, I think he's going to be really, really strong here again this weekend. So Denny Hamlin for me in stage 2. And for stage 3, I'll go ahead and go with Kyle Larson. And then for my top 3, I'm going to keep it the same, see if I can't win all the money this weekend. So give me Kyle Larson as your winner, Martin Truex Jr. coming in second place, and Kyle Busch will round out the top 3 there on the NBC Sports Predictor. As of the $1,000 contest over on the Fox Bet Super 6 app, it must be coming out really late over on the Fox Bet Super 6 app, because as of right now, I'm doing this recording, they don't have a contest. I'm going to assume that they are going to have a contest. So if you want my answers for the Fox Bet Super 6 app, just make sure you're following me on Twitter. It's at WinningBetsPod. It's at WinningBetsPod. If you're also interested in placing some real sports bets on this coming race there at Darlington this weekend, go ahead and check out Friday's episode of my daily sports betting show. That's when I always release my NASCAR plays, is on Friday's episode. You can find the latest episode of my daily sports betting show at the bottom right-hand corner when I put up the trailer videos there at the end of this broadcast. So just check that out. If you're watching this and it's not Friday, just make sure you come out Friday. I'll always have head-to-head plays coming up for a race like this. So you can look for me on those Fridays episode. I'll have a good couple winners for you there right there. Otherwise, guys, enjoy this race. It's going to be really, really awesome to see who can go ahead and start off this playoff round with the win. Look forward to seeing how it unfolds. Look forward to having you guys come back next week. We'll recap Darlington, and then we'll look forward to Richmond there for the second playoff race. All right, guys, good luck with your picks. We'll see you on the next contest. That was a lot of fun. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and good luck with your picks. If interested in placing real sports bets, then check out my latest daily free sports betting video in the bottom right corner. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next contest.